All right, let's talk about something that sounds almost too good to be true but isn't. How can a really small, consistent action lead to, well, absolutely massive results down the road? We're going to break down how just $100 a month could completely change your financial future and put you on a path to wealth that, honestly, most people just assume is out of reach.
So let me ask you this. What if a single decision you make today could literally determine whether you retire wealthy? And I'm not talking about needing a six-figure job or some fancy degree or winning the lottery. Nope, this is a super simple strategy that, for some reason, almost everyone just overlooks.
Okay, just to set the stage here, check out this stat. It's pretty shocking. More than half of all Americans can't get their hands on even $1,000 for an emergency. Just let that sink in for a second. That means most people are one flat tire, one unexpected trip to the doctor, away from a real financial disaster. And this really leads us right into this common problem I call the financial trap. It's this cycle that keeps so many people from ever building real wealth, even if they have a decent job and look like they're doing just fine.
Yeah, the scary truth is, a lot of people are stuck in this loop, right? You earn money, you spend money, and you repeat. They might have the nice car, the newest phone. They look well off. But underneath it all, there's a pretty frightening reality. They're basically broke, and a lot of the time, they don't even know it.
So, how is wealth really built then? The media loves to glamorize it. We see the Wall Street traders, the tech billionaires, the lottery winners, and yeah, those stories are exciting, but they are the exception. The reality? It's actually kind of boring, and that's probably why most people ignore it. It all comes down to three things: consistency, time, and the incredible, almost magical power of compound growth.
But here's the good news. There is a way to break out of that trap. So let's talk about the solution. It's a really simple, actionable path forward that can help you break that cycle for good. Now here's what's so wild about this. If you can just manage to save $100 every single month, you will immediately be ahead of more than 60% of your peers. And listen, it's not because $100 is a massive amount of money. It's because you're building the discipline that most people just never do.
So you see, the real question isn't, can you find $100? I mean, for most of us, that's what? A few meals out, a couple of subscriptions you forgot you even had? The real question is, are you willing to redirect that money? To take it from just consumption and point it towards building your own wealth. It's a total shift in how you see your money.
Okay, so how do you actually find that $100? Well, there are basically two main ways to go about it. And honestly, the most successful people, they usually do a bit of both. You can either reduce your expenses, lower your monthly spending, or you can increase your income and earn more money. Let's start with reducing expenses, because this can be the easiest place to start. Go for the easy wins first. I'm talking about negotiating your fixed costs, like your cell phone bill or your car insurance. A couple of phone calls could literally save you $50, maybe even $100 a month right there. Then do an audit of your subscriptions. Come on, are you really using all those streaming services? And finally, just think about small changes. That $5 coffee every day, skipping that could fund half of your entire monthly investment. It adds up fast.
Now, on the flip side, you can increase your income. And with the way the economy is today, there are more opportunities for this than ever before. You could use the skills you already have and do some freelancing. You could start a small side hustle, or even just take on some part-time work. Honestly, the how doesn't matter as much as just committing to making it happen.
All right, once you've got that $100 a month freed up, this is where the real magic starts to happen. We're talking about the power of compounding.
So let's just look at this timeline, and we'll assume a pretty standard historical stock market return, around 10% a year. Okay, so after 10 years of putting in $100 a month, you'd have about $18,000. That's nice, right? But it's not going to change your life. But just watch what happens when we let time do its thing. After 20 years, that number jumps to around $75,000. And after 40 years, that same $100 a month explodes to over $350,000. See that curve? That's the exponential power just building and building under the surface. And this chart, this is really the aha moment for so many people. Look at this. Over those 40 years, you personally put in about $48,000, but your account is worth over $350,000. So, where did that extra $300,000 come from? That, my friends, is compound growth. Over 85% of your final wealth didn't come from your hard work, it came from your money working for you.
There's a reason Albert Einstein supposedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. It's the engine that drives this entire strategy, just quietly turning these small, consistent bits of money into some serious wealth.
So let's break down how that actually works. You know, in the early years when you only have, say, 5 grand in your account, a 10% return is just 500 bucks. It doesn't feel like much. But as that pile of money gets bigger, the percentages start to mean a lot more. At $50,000, that same 10% return is now $5,000 a year. Get up to $300,000 and now it's $30,000 a year. At that point, your investments are basically generating a pretty decent income all on their own.
Okay, so understanding the math is one thing, right? But I think the hardest part for most people is just developing the discipline to stick with it for the long haul. And that requires a really important psychological shift. It's all about adopting an investor's mindset.
So here's the difference. The consumption mindset asks, how much can I afford to spend on this right now? But the investor mindset, it asks a totally different question. How much is this purchase going to cost my future self? Suddenly, that $100 dinner isn't just $100 anymore. It's potentially hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars in lost future growth.
And you know, the key to really making this stick, to maintaining that discipline, is automation. Seriously, this just means setting up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your investment account every single month. You treat it like a bill, you know, like your rent to your phone bill. You pay yourself first, and that just removes the temptation to spend that money on something else.
And when you really truly get the power of compounding, you realize something pretty profound. Your biggest asset, it isn't your job. It's not your car. It's not even your house. Your single biggest asset is time. Every single month you wait to get started is a month of potential growth that you can never, ever get back.
There's this great old saying that just nails this point. The best time to start investing was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. And look, this isn't about making you feel bad or regretful. It's about empowerment. The power to start is right here, in your hands today.
So look, the strategy is simple. The math is undeniable. And your biggest asset, time, is ticking away. So the only real question left is,